We're sorry about that. We are still working out kinks and shit like that. But yeah, so Le'Veon Bell, like we were talking before we lost our stream, have feeling Roger Goodell had something to do with that. But Le'Veon Bell out a few weeks, and you are loving the drama because it was yesterday that you said you like to see hillbillies fight on Facebook over Eminem and MGK, and this seems like this is going to be very similar.
I'm very excited I love drama, whether it's sports, music, hillbillies on Facebook. I just like to see people I like to see things burn, Chase.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
that
especially
way.
sweet with the Steelers because I fucking hate them. So
Yeah,
when I saw this belt, I was like, yes. And like, there's unnamed sources in it. It says one veteran told ESPN he fucked us. So I'm at this point, it's kind of like, can he come back?
Have you ever noticed that everything in Pittsburgh is about fucking something? Like Le'Veon Bell fucking the team, Ben Roethlisberger fucking that chick. Like that's all that whole city is about. Like that's all that you ever hear. You never hear anything good about it. You hear about Mike Tomlin trying to trip a player while he's running down the field.
Listen, I like Mike Tomlin actually.
Because he wears that stupid fucking vest that you could have bought at Old Navy 10 years ago.
He just seems like such a nice guy. Like, I would love to have him as a coach. Oh, I'd love to have anyone over Hugh Jackson as a coach, to be honest. But definitely Mike Tomlin.
So when this whole season blows up in the face of the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield, because remember when we were talking about perfect worlds yesterday?
Uh-huh.
The whole Tyrod, tie-dye, whatever his name is, when he's out by week seven, who's going to take Mr. Hughes' spot next year?
Haley. And I can't wait. Listen, Hard Knocks, I am completely in love with Todd Haley now. That also, let me just go off on a tangent real fast. That's like, you know how you know when you're getting old is when you don't even look at the players anymore, you start looking at the coaches. So that was hard for me to deal with. But then last night on Hard Knocks, he was wearing cargo shorts and he just looked like a snack. And I'm like, you know what, Todd Haley? I can't wait for you. And I don't hate them. If Todd Haley's wearing them, I'm into whatever Todd Haley's doing.
Line coach still wearing those cargo shorts too. And that belly bounce that he has with,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I've been working on it. Like, I have hernia surgery in 2 weeks because I popped something over here in my side trying to get that thing. Like that dinner that I showed you the picture of that I ate tonight is what I'm eating every day because I found my calling in life.
There you go. And then you gotta get a Maserati, a little white Maserati, and pull up and get all the chicks.
Right? Like that is just like the epitome of like that. Just seems to be like O-line, D-line, like offensive, defensive coordinators, like Rob Ryan.
Yeah.
Like Rob Ryan looked like the dude, and if he ate like 4 other dudes.
Rob Ryan.
But yeah, Rob Ryan was great. Rob Ryan used to come into a Papa John's I worked at, would take 2 16-inch Works pizzas off the back cooling rack. And,
really?
Walk out the door, never paid for. He was coming to visit his mama, and I don't think he was feeding his mama.
Well, wait, there was Rob Ryan, then there was Rex Ryan. Was he with the Jets?
Yeah, Rex Ryan's and he was with the Bills, and now he's with ESPN.
Okay.
As an analyst. Rob Ryan, he was in Cleveland for a minute, wasn't he?
Rob Ryan?
Yeah.
Hold on.
No,
I think it's Ryan. Let me see.
Uh-oh, she's starting to look it up on her computer. Her face got really glowy.
It's gonna bother me if I don't know now.
Because fuck show notes, right?
I don't care about his early life. Jets.
Cowboys.
Was he with the Cowboys?
Rob Ryan was.
Okay. They're all the same.
They all bounce around. There's no new nothing
No.
except for Sean McVay. So, with that being said, let's start looking into some fantasy projections here, guys.
Yeah,
yeah, that's what we're all here for. Everybody should have drafted. I have one more draft tonight at 11:45 that I've got another team. But I've basically gotten into like the weekly fantasy, the daily fantasy stuff. That's kind of where I'm at because I do have ADD and focusing on a whole fucking season has gotten kind of hard for me. But if you do focus on it, here's our first commercial, TrophySmack.com. TrophySmack.com sells all of your like championship belts, loser awards, Super Bowl rings, and trophies. They're featured everywhere. It's TrophySmack.com. And if you go to TrophySmack.com/FU Fantasy Football, should pull up a page. We'll also have a link here with our descriptions in YouTube and a link on Facebook so you guys can get those prizes. And it gets you 10% off. So super, super sweet. Yeah. You can buy your dad one of those trophies, and he doesn't even have to play fantasy football.
There you go. I don't
just have it on there, have something engraved on it. Yeah. So yeah, definitely check it out. But yes, so everybody's pretty much done drafting. I hold out a lot of times because I don't have faith in picking some players that I think is going to be there because I would have picked Dan Bailey as my kicker, as I always do, because he's the second most consistent kicker of all time, and he apparently doesn't have a job right now. So, I would have been fucked in that situation, which I know people say kickers don't make it, but bullshit if they don't. Yeah. Sometimes you have a game where your offense doesn't show up and you can get to the 40-yard line, and if you got an accurate kicker, boom, there you go, and he's going to score you all your points. Yeah. But that's another time and another story, and we'll figure it out because this is just projection shows. This is basically where me and Brittany find stuff on the internet, we talk out of our ass, and we're like, oh yeah, this is definitely what's going to happen. So without that, let's go ahead and get into the meat and balls or meat and potatoes of this whole thing. So Aaron Rodgers is, for most places, projected to be the highest rated quarterback, except if you look at a lot of stuff with your DFS leagues and stuff like that. Drew Brees is actually favored more. Aaron Rodgers is projected right now at 20.8 points, with Drew Brees right behind him with 20.2 and Tom Brady with 19.6. Three veteran quarterbacks, three quarterbacks that are got a fairly good schedule right now for the first game of the year and of the season. And guys that are always going to be up there at the top. Followed up with Deshaun Watson, which, nobody really knows what's going to happen there since he missed last season with that torn ACL. Phillip Rivers, which is the quarterback that I will always feel the sorriest for, a really, really good talent, but will never, ever, ever have a team behind him in Los Angeles, San Diego, or wherever the fuck they're playing these days. Followed up by Cam Newton, which is always good if you want a quarterback that bitches a lot about getting hit in the head and being 6'4". And then also Matt Stafford, who kind of looks like Kermit the Frog with a mullet. But he will round out that with 18.3. And Ben Roethlisberger of the Pittsburgh Steelers is 18.1 projected for this. So basically you've got anywhere from 18 to 20.8 points is what they're calling for. I know everybody has gotten into the trend of, hey, let's draft our running backs. Let's focus on those guys. That's where the points are. And I get that. That's true. But there you go. So if you do have any of those guys, which I hope some of you guys do that is watching this, go ahead and start it. I did hear, though, that if you're playing in any leagues with Brittany, you will definitely want to play her on the week that the Browns have a bye week because she drafts with this and not this, and she drafted literally every Browns player that was available in our draft.
First of all, I'm on a fantasy show, and I don't play fantasy. This is I have never, not even I've never been in a league. There's a reason for this. First of all, it would have to be a free league, and I don't really want to do that. I have a fantasy baseball team that's free. I'm four free ones. I missed the draft completely. I forgot that it was even a thing. I answered with a bunch of these really cool people from Cleveland on Twitter. And they're like, "Hey, birds of you, come be in our fantasy league." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Well, then I just completely forgot about it. And now my team is, I think, 1 in 20. 1 in 20 or 1 in 19, or because I never did anything with it. It was
You auto drafted.
What?
It's auto drafted.
That's it. Auto drafted. I never one time I signed in to do something because they were all making fun of me one day. So I was like, okay, I got to do something. So I had like 16 players on the DL, and I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta like fix this. And eventually, I got one win. But that's my extent of fantasy anything. So as far as fantasy football, I don't do it because I will never like pay money. I will never put money on anything because I'm very unlucky, and that's pretty much it. I'm just really unlucky.
Okay.
So I won't gamble.
So here's what we're gonna do. Okay, after we get off of this show,
Okay.
I'm going to make you and I a 2-person league, bare minimum. We will draft players and team. We will draft as a team, and you can play. It's a free league. I'm not going to charge you. I'm not going to do anything.
I will do it for this show, just so like I can win every week and rub it in your face.
Okay. Hey, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And we're there's gonna be a lot of games that we play on this show.
Okay.
Like I have a feeling like you're gonna fall in love with this. You're gonna have to quit your job with the Amish, and you're gonna have to make your life about like Dale from the you'll be like Dale from Step Brothers, where hey, yeah, I manage a baseball team. Oh, Little League, no, fantasy. It's going to be fantasy football all year, all long. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. So, yeah, so let's move on to get away from the awkwardness now that is fuck your fantasy team, since apparently Brittany doesn't even have a team for me to fuck. So, there you go. I pulled away for a minute so that maybe we could regather things and we can talk about how, you have to do your fantasy deal. We're right back. I'm coming right back to you, sister.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm doing like cuts away and stuff. Like making this thing look like a real deal.
You can do that's not fair.
Yeah, hey, you had one earlier. Somebody had commented, get rid of the fat guy. So I just put it on.
I'm not. Are other comments coming in?
Oh yeah, they're talking all about you.
Stop.
So no, Todd Gurley is projected 18.8 points for the Rams. David Johnson with the Arizona Cardinals, which that's going to be a fun game to watch tomorrow night. They've got that season opener. And then Alvin Kamara, Melvin Gordon, Ezekiel Elliott, which will be a fun one to watch since, he was out there at the last 6 games of the season last year because of girls similar to Brittany Mullis that get you in trouble when you go to St. Patty's Day parades. And then we have Kareem Hunt and looks like Fournette for Jacksonville rounding out the top spots. So definitely that's one of those things. I know a lot of people are talking about Rex Burkhead and how you probably shouldn't start him in anything that you have. Just due off of strength of the schedule. This is the hardest game of the year. The hardest week of the year because there's so much uncertainty. Everything that you draft on is based off of last year, years in the past, projection points, things like that, offenses and defenses and stuff, schedule strength, who are they playing this week, and it's very, very hard to decide on what's going on. And after that, it kind of eases up, and it gets all of us, too, that talk about it out of the weeds with awkwardness and people sliding into your DMs, yelling at you because they listen to us instead of going to them. And we're sorry. It's just how it is.
No, anyone that knows me knows that I never know exactly what I'm talking about, so we're good. They don't get mad about that.
They don't come to you for actual advice?
No. Well, okay, some people have. And the only piece of advice I gave was my friend had a draft a couple nights ago. and he was debating whether or not he should draft Bell. And I was like, yes. So now here we are. That was the only piece of advice. Like, I was like, yep, you have. I think my exact quote was, you gotta. And so don't ever listen to me. I don't know anything. I'm just here for the laughs, guys.
You're starting to be like the Shakira of fantasy sports. Like, we're just gonna put you on mute.
No, don't do that. The meanest thing anyone can do to me.
Put me on mute, please.
You know, when it comes to Twitter, I would rather people just flat out block me than mute me. I get so irritated when I figure out that somebody has muted me. I'm like, you son of a bitch, just block me.
Have you looked that you can take a break with people on Facebook now?
I heard that.
Yeah, like if you're on my Facebook and I'm just like, Brittany really pissed me off today. We're gonna take a break.
Yeah,
like
I haven't played around with it. I don't really get on Facebook too much. The only time I get on there is to share pictures of my cats. That's it.
Hey, you shared that picture of your mom and you at Hamilton.
Oh yeah. That was fun.
So, yeah, which everybody should find your mom and send her well wishes.
Yes, having her hip replaced.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun time in the Mollis household for the next couple. She's actually having that one and then another one a couple months afterwards. So it's going to be a good time.
Try and live an awkward life as a fourth grader when your dad has a broken arm and can't button his pants and refuses to wear wind pants every day.
Oh, no. Yeah. Preacher man.
Yeah, the preacher man walking around not wearing wind pants. Like, we went and got him wind pants and stuff. He's like, I'll just wear jeans. Somebody could just follow me around. I'm like, no one's unbuttoning your pants, Dad. That's awkward. Your fat Jew gut gets in the way of the jeans anyways. But yeah, no.
Oh,
so,
geez. All right.
I know. So yeah, so fantasy sports right now, that is kind of where we're at. Antonio Brown, though, for Pittsburgh, still looks like he's going to have a good season with 13.5%. A lot of your wide receivers don't have a lot of. I mean, there's only 7 guys that are in double-digit points. That's just kind of how it looks like the defense is going for the first game. Got a lot of defenses that people are playing up against. That looks like it's going to be kind of a tough game. AJ Green there in number 4 spot, Michael Thomas at number 3, and Hopkins in Houston, which is always good. Hopkins is one of the most targeted players in NFL right now for your draft. And just to let you know, so that you kind of know where you're at in your draft that you don't play, Jarvis Landry is the highest ranked Cleveland Brown player for the first game.
Jarvis is?
Yep.
Hold on, I'm looking right now.
Jarvis will only get you 8.2 points as well.
Juju. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, Josh Gordon's got 6.9. But you have to think about that with the defense. They're going to double up on him. They're going to double up on Gordon. That's how it's going to be.
Absolutely. Definitely.
So, and definitely draft Colin Kaepernick as your quarterback in our league, and also Des Bryant. Take my fantasy advice.
Oh, yeah.
If I don't see that and Le'Veon Bell, if I don't see those 3 on your draft, I'm going to feel like I did something wrong. And as always, Rob Gronkowski, number 1, because he plays for the Pats, and the Pats are my AFC team.
Can I just tell you how my fantasy draft will be? I'm looking at all of this right now. I'm looking at quarterbacks and wide receivers. Okay, so how many wide receivers can you have?
Well, in your draft, you have 16 players.
Okay. So if I were a smart person, how many wide receivers would I ideally get?
Well, you get a flex player, which can be like a wide receiver, a tight end, or a running back. You get 2 running backs and you get 4 receivers. So I mean,
Four receivers?
you do have players. Yes, you do have players that you have to have in place to play.
Yeah.
So you can't just go out there and start all wide receivers. You have to have quarterbacks, running backs.
Well, yeah, I get that. But I'm just
Okay,
telling you, okay. You want to hear who my wide receivers would be?
I want to hear who your wide receivers would be.
It's going to be, let's see, Beckham, of course, Beckham Jr. Golden Tate. Hi, Golden Tate. I love you. Juju.
Oh god.
And Josh Gordon.
Oh, so pretty
That's
much
actually
the
like
entire.
Those are like all of my perfect men, actually.
Okay, you do know that we're picking them to play. We're not picking them to date.
This is why I can't play fantasy football, because I pick with my heart.
Like, I feel like you picked all the people that you want to pull the sofa down for like a Netflix and chill while
No, it's not even. It's not about a look thing. Like, okay, with Golden Tate, he went to Notre Dame. I loved him there. I cheered for him. He's like my son.
He's probably old enough.
And then let's see, Josh Gordon. I just love Josh Gordon so much. I would die for him. That's not even Juju. First of all, his name's Juju. Have you ever seen him dance? Why am I the only person on? Okay. So yeah, I mean, and that's a pretty solid lineup, I think. I'm looking at the rest. No. Oh, Antonio Callaway. Not about him. I'm still kind of angry about him. I'm still bitter over Corey Coleman. Unemployed Corey Coleman.
Unemployed. What about unemployed Juice? How are you handling that? How are you handling the
what, Corey Coleman?
No, Juice. Cajuice.
Cajuice?
Yeah, how are you feeling about that?
I got over him. Are you talking about Cajuice?
Yeah.
Did you see Hard Knocks last night?
I did.
Okay. That was really sad. But I got over him a few weeks ago with the Crystals. I couldn't do it.
Real football players.
But I felt bad for his dad last night. Yeah.
So you're more on to the dad. You're on the dad thing. Okay, I got you. So yes, that's how that is. Gronk leading off number 1 for the tight end spot. And you've got Travis Kelce's right behind there as well. And then you have Zach Ertz, Greg Olson, Delanie Walker, Kyle Rudolph, Trey Burton, Jimmy Graham for that Green Bay. And I remember when he used to be like, there was arguments that he was just as good as Gronk or better. But one player that I will say has been brought up in a lot of circles as second-year breakout player in that tight end spot is David Njoku.
Yeah.
He's got projected 6 points with 3 receptions. But they say Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield both used to having a good tight end setup, and kind of tight ends in certain situations always seem to be your scapegoat. Being a Cowboys fan and a Patriots fan, you kind of have learned to see, like, you know, Tony Romo had Jason Witten and Tom Brady has Gronk. And so they get you out of situations. He used to have Aaron Hernandez, too, on the other side of the field. But, you know, shit happens.
You know, things happen.
Right. Yeah. So you can't really go off of that. We will talk about kickers real quick, though. Will Lutz, Justin Tucker, Caleb Sturgis, Greg Zulerin, Gostowski for New England, Jake Elliott, Matt Prater, and Daniel Carlson, and Adam Vinatieri still kicking at 63 years old.
Stop.
Adam Vinatieri was the first kicker I ever saw in my life, and I'm 30 almost. So, I mean, it's a good chance that dude's going to kick until he's 90. Yeah. You have to cart him off the field. So, with that, we're going to get into a segment we're going to have every week called Brit's Picks. And so this is where Brittany has her own segment. And so I am going to go through a list of games every week, and Brittany is going to make her picks, and I will make my picks as well. And at the end of the season, we will see who has the best record on that. And the loser has to buy the winner a very nice Valentine's Day gift.
Ooh, Jesus.
I know.
Chase.
I figure that's cheaper that route because Christmas is already passed. Like, I mean, just be happy that I'm not making you buy a Hanukkah gift because you have to do that for 8 days.
True.
So you're welcome. Getting you right. So let me go ahead and get your thing set up here, and we will look at the schedule. So, all right. So starting off tomorrow, we have the Falcons and the Eagles. Where are we at on that, Brittany?
I'm gonna go with Atlanta.
Ooh, picking Atlanta to beat out the old Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, I don't really respect the Eagles. There's no real reason for it. I just don't.
Nobody
does. I would never pick them. I don't. Also, there's always a root of a problem that I have with the team, and it really makes my problem with the Eagles is that for the past year, every Browns fan I know has been obsessed with Carson Wentz and how Sashi didn't pick him, and every argument ever always goes back to Carson Wentz, and I just don't want to see him really be as great as he probably is. So if the Eagles are involved in anything, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So no, I'm taking the Falcons for that.
You're taking the Falcons on that. I mean, because that's kind of one of those weird situations where I feel like every year the Cleveland team, the Cleveland fan base is always, well, we should have taken this person. We should have taken that person. Because when Baker Mayfield takes over next season, as everybody assumes is going to happen, he will be what number quarterback? What?
I don't know.
Because I'll see the post stuff. I think you're in the 40s.
I don't think it's that high. I think we're in the 20s, maybe early 30s. No, it can't be that much. It's been the 20s, I think.
Okay.
It's been a lot. But you know what? We got it right, and nothing else matters. And that's what I want to keep emphasizing. These people that are like, Carson Wentz, oh, it doesn't matter. We have what we have now. And I think I love Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. Of course, Terod's my guy right now. He's my QB1. But I think he's the future, and I think he's going to be great. So I'm happy with the way everything, went. I'm good with it. I wish, and I hope if anyone in Cleveland is actually listening to this, I hope you all stop with the Carson Wentz thing. Actually, I want to mute his name on Twitter anymore. Can't do it. I'm done.
So you're done with Carson?
So that was my thought.
Yeah, that's your rant. So I guess we'll move on to a game that's near and dear to your heart. That will be the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns. And what's your pick on that one?
Chase, you know who I have to take for that one. But here's the thing, though. I actually think that we're going to win.
Is it a heart pick or is it an actual pick?
Both.
Okay.
I think we're going to be. You what?
So you really do feel like you're going to beat them?
Yeah, I really do. I think we win by. What's the spread on that? You know?
Um, I want to say they were maybe 2.5 point favorites.
Mm, okay.
They were like
Yeah, I
one
think we.
between ones. Different ones I was looking at, they were like a 1.75 to 2.5 point favorite.
I think we cover that.
You
I
think you
think we
cover
win
that?
by. Yeah, definitely.
Now, if Coleman was still playing, you might have a little bit invested in this Bills at Ravens game. Who are you picking on that one?
The Ravens. Who's starting for? Who's Gotta be. Is Flacco still hurt?
I believe so.
Is RG3
Yes,
playing? So RG3 is the starter.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Well, no, I can't pick the Ravens to win anything unless Lamar Jackson is starting, which he's not. Also, we should bring a new segment like every week. I actually talked about this on Twitter today, so I have to talk to you about it to see if it's okay.
Get it approved by Dad.
Once Lamar Jackson starts playing, we're gonna start doing something called things that only Lamar Jackson can do.
I'm good with that.
Thank you.
I
So
feel like
back
this
to your
is.
original question.
I feel like this is going to turn into that. It's going to turn into that meme of like, Ryan Gosling can't eat a. So
Yes.
I'm good with that.
So yeah, if RG3, no, I don't even know who was it. The Ravens and who?
Ravens and Bills. The Bills are the favorite.
Oh, the Bills are the favorite. Whoa.
Yeah, because they got rid of some Cleveland baggage from Corey Coleman, and him and his shoes.
Cleveland will love you for that.
Yeah. So
Browns fans hated Corey.
Well, yeah, because he had all those shoes, and people in Cleveland don't even own shoes.
Oh my God. No, you're confusing Cleveland with young.
I guess I am. Maybe that's the problem. Mm-hmm. Jaguars at Giants. Who we got?
I'm gonna go with Jacksonville.
Jacksonville riding off of that nice little trip to the playoffs last year, keeping that strong.
Yeah. Also, like from the little that I've read about actual fantasy football, their defense is supposed to be pretty legit.
Yeah, their defense is not a bad one to have as your defense for the season. So moving along, Buccaneers at the Saints.
Saints.
Going Saints, yes, because the Buccaneers are without their quarterback because apparently he gets handsy with the Uber drivers.
He is a piece of shit. I digress. Go on.
Sounds like Brittany's driven for Uber before or something. Very, very good one that I think I'm going to watch a lot of is the Patriots and Texans. And not just because I'm a Patriots fan, but because the Texans were projected last season to be a playoff team and be a Super Bowl contender. But the injury with their quarterback happened and kind of derailed everything. And I kind of want to see if that's going to be the case this season.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
But I'm still
going. So who are you taking for that?
I'm taking the Patriots on that one.
Nah.
And that's just
that's a safe pick.
You have Bill you have Bill Belichick. I mean, at noon here, 1:00 your time, I will be sitting in a recliner watching the Patriots play in a cutoff blue sweatshirt because that's what you do.
Oh God, you own a cutoff sweatshirt?
I do, and also if I put a pencil in my ear like that and hold up a clipboard in front of my face, people think I'm coaching the Lions. So whatevs. People think I look like Matt Patricia. It's just like I'm a fat guy with a beard. They're like, that's Matt Patricia. So 49ers at the Vikings.
Jimmy G. I think. Hold on, let me look.
Well, we know Jimmy Garoppolo's got the start.
Yeah. Okay.
He's reincarnated Tom Brady, but I don't think he's going to pull it down at the Vikings.
You don't think so?
No, you got Fitbits and Apple Watches telling people that Minnesota fans like they were having heart attacks almost. Like that was how much their scales were jumping on their Fitbits and on their Apple Watches last season. Like everybody's too fired up. Like you can't lose that first Vikings game.
God.
This
Okay.
is the year of
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna take
skull.
49ers anyway.
I'm
going 49ers.
Taking the Vikings, and I'm going to go back and watch this so I can write everything down. The Titans and the Dolphins.
Did you say the Kittens and the Dolphins?
So I said the Titans, but I meant Titans.
Oh.
I thought there was two teams.
Boo.
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 That seems like that's going to be like a high school game. Like the Dolphins suck. The Titans
and
suck.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Out of all of the games that I'm looking at right now, this is the one I care about probably the absolute least.
Yeah, even people
I can't
in Miami.
think of no reason why I would want to watch
that. Probably if you lived in Miami or Tennessee, that would be your 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock game. So you have to watch it. That's the only reason if you're cheap and don't have Sunday ticket.
Yeah, I'm not about that. I'll go with the Dolphins.
Going Dolphins. Bengals and Colts.
Oh, Bengals.
Going Bengals, going Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to be awful.
For sure. We got your Steelers and Browns pick in. Chiefs and the Chargers.
Ooh. Hold on. I want to make an educated guess on this one.
Okay.
Chiefs and Chargers.
It's the start of the Mahomes era. Pat Mahomes getting the start.
Okay. Then yeah, let's go with the Chiefs.
I'm going with the Chiefs. Me and you can get on that one. And then Seahawks at the Broncos.
Seahawks and Broncos. I'll go Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks. And the reason why is people bought into that hype with the Broncos last year after they beat the Cowboys. And then it all just fell apart. And I think they got their next win when they played the Browns. Which, no offense to you, like that still is a bad game. But I felt like on the schedule, if the Browns had a chance last year of winning anything, it would have been against the Broncos, because after their big win against the Cowboys in like week 2 or 3, they just fell apart, and that was it.
Yeah.
So we've got that. Yeah. So that's going to be a 3:25 start on Fox, or 4:25 start in your neck of the woods. But the game that will more than likely be shown pretty much everywhere except in those 2 regions. Cowboys at the Panthers. Who are we taking? Cowboys at the Panthers.
Cowboys, Panthers?
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to take the Panthers.
And why?
Because I love Cam Newton.
Of course you would love Cam Newton. Dak Prescott's equally as black. Why can't you like him?
Don't say that. Oh my
It'll be a hard game for you to watch, isn't it?
No, it's not. Because I'm going against you, Chase.
Fine. You know what? I take back that story. The Steelers are going to beat you guys. Sorry. You're losing your first game.
Fine.
0-17. Right? Yeah. We're used to not being any good. Redskins and Cardinals.
Redskins.
They got Adrian Peterson.
What's interesting about them today? I can't think of what it was.
Adrian Peterson starting running back.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You read my mind. That's exactly what.
Know, right? It's awesome that you said Adrian Peterson is starting for the Redskins.
I was shocked because I thought earlier today that I read that he was like a preacher now or something. Does that make
Adrian Peterson? No, I've never heard that one.
I feel like I saw that somewhere that Adrian Peterson is now a preacher. I could have dreamed it. Probably dreamed it.
The only Bible verse that Adrian Peterson probably has ever heard is "Spare the rod, spoil the child." Like,
oh, boo.
Is that a too soon?
Hmm?
I mean, because that's it. Like, that's where I got my claim to fame, was because I called out the NFL and said the only thing you're allowed to hit in the NFL anymore is your wife and your kids after they started making this targeting rule.
Jeez. I know. Actually, you know what? You have a point.
That's pretty much it. Like, you can't tackle anybody on the field, but you hit your wife, you get a 3-game suspension, but you can practice with them. I mean, who cares? Whatevs. Yeah, no, that's horrible. So you're picking Redskins?
Yeah.
You are. So since the Bruce Arian days are over at the Cardinals, you are done. And then one of the biggest rivals in all of NFL, it will always be fun. It's the primetime game. Starts at 8:20 Eastern, 7:20 Central, is the Bears and Packers.
The Bears.
The Bears and Packers.
And it has to go with the Packers. They have to. Well, who's at home?
It is Green Bay. It's at Green Bay.
Hell yeah. Hell yes, Packers.
I mean, I'd pick the Packers if they were playing in Chicago. I mean, Chicago, yeah, they've got all this hope and everything, but there's still a couple of players and a season away from contending.
Agreed.
So I think that pretty much wraps up our show. We gave everybody a solid hour. I told you we would.
Yeah, it went a lot faster than I thought it would.
I know. Once you get Brittany talking,
I know.
The show is a rockin'. You're the most opinionated woman ever. You're like a liberal football version of that Tommy girl that's on Fox News. Like,
don't
the real
say
pretty
that's
blonde
the
one.
thing anyone can say to me. I'm very offended.
You'd be like the liberal, like, you've got like your little points. Like, I might let you have a final thought like Jerry Springer. Like, just cut away and let you send us off and be like, be good to each other and yourself.
No, if you give me a final thought, I want it like designed so it says final thought, THOT.
I can whip that up for you next time.
Thank you. And then it'll just be me going off on some tangent that nobody cares about.
Right. It'll be something about like how Dunkin' Donuts messed up your basic PSL drink.
It's true.
Right.
They ran out of large coffee cups yesterday, and then the other day they didn't have straws or something. 2 days in a row, they fucked up. Not happy.
So now you're going to have to go back to Starbucks, aren't you?
Well, only on payday.
Only on payday? Yeah, when you have that $5 extra to pay. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. But no, so those were Britt's picks. We will keep track of how well she does for the season, and people keep track of how well she does in a fantasy league. And definitely play. We like draft.com. It's a lot of fun. It's classic drafting the way that it used to be, and how you draft your full season, but you do it on a daily basis and you win a lot of money. I played last year. Dream Team is a lot of fun on that one. Basically, you can pick whatever players you want, and it's usually like a 2 or 3 person game. And even if Brittany was to draft Aaron Rodgers, I could draft Aaron Rodgers, and it's a lot of fun because you see like very little change, but like if somebody has a couple of different wide receivers, it can make or break that game for them. So check that one out. But it's draft.com. I know it just got bought out by FanDuel, but it's a lot of fun. So I guess until next week at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on Wednesdays. That way you can get your picks in on Thursday based off of Brittany's huge, extensive knowledge of fantasy sports. We'll help you. Who are we sitting? Who are we starting? And follow us on Instagram and Twitter. FU Fantasy FBALL and F Your Fantasy Team on Facebook. But I'm Chase Jonathan, and we have Brittany Mullis with us as always. And until then, guys, we'll see you next time.